frankly, if I made comments that very publicly demonstrated that I didn't read the legislation I was discussing, I'd be embarrassed. But that is an aside. When I first got to Congress, I thought, man, people definitely study what they're talking about here. Then I got here and I realized that a lot of my colleagues don't even read the bills that they are commenting on. Here on planet Earth, though, this bill is about providing a public option for financial services, an option, not a government takeover. Let's talk about some of the extractive practices of private for-profit banking in this country and why we desperately need a public option. So, Ms. Del Rio, when a commercial bank decides whether to make a loan and what interest rate to charge, it considers not only the riskiness of the loan itself, but it also incorporates the bank's target profit margins based on their quarterly goals and shareholder dividends, correct?
Yes, I would say that the banks are driven by profit maximizing motives. Yes.
Isn't it the case that a public bank is likely to be a cheaper option than Wall Street for businesses and governments who seek affordable credit? Because a public bank is non-for-profit, so it doesn't need to pad its interest rates in order to make a profit. Isn't that right?
Right. A public bank would be chartered to serve the public good, and it would remove the profit-seeking shareholders from the equation and allow for other benefits other than maximizing
And
profits.
And a public bank ostensibly wouldn't have, billionaire CEOs that are paid hundreds or thousands times the amount that their lowest employees are made. Is that correct?
Yes, that's certainly our vision for public banking.
Now, I represent parts of the Bronx where more than half of residents are either unbanked or underbanked. We heard some stories today that I thought were very, optimistic and rosy, like Wall Street executives. They will want to compete for business. Of course, they'll extend services in low-income communities. But we're talking about Earth, right? And on planet Earth, there are a lot of communities that are not profitable to bank. A lot of people don't know that your city actually has to keep the city's money with like a Chase or a Bank of America or a Santander, etc., because there's no public bank. And as a result, those private banks can actually refuse to finance projects that are against their financial interest, right? Like they can refuse to finance things like worker cooperatives or renewable energy projects if it cuts against their own profit margin. Isn't that correct?
That is absolutely correct.